Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today, as I said in my previous video, I'm going to be going through some of the paints and mixes, flow mixes and stuff that I use to create my paintings. I'll be doing a open cup pour after this with the paints that I start with the paints that I mix now. So stay tuned for that. But for those of you who want to know what brands, etc. of paint and flow mixture I use, I'm going to go through that now. So let's start off with the paints. The main paint I use in South Africa is from a brand called Iris. They come in these either 200ml tubes, which are great, or they come in these 75ml tubes. Obviously it's a little bit cheaper if you buy the bigger one, but they don't often have every color in these big tubes. So I get them when I can, the bigger ones, and also if I need a different color in the smaller tube, I can use that as well. The flow mixture that I use is this. It's the Dala Flow Medium Acrylic. I get all my stuff from Art Attack in Bellville in Cape Town. I'll put a link in the description below. But this is the stuff that I use. It comes in 1 liter or 5 liter containers, and it's probably the most expensive part of my painting mix. I think these 5 liter ones come to about close to 1,000 Rand. So yeah, it does go a long way though. But yeah, that's what I use for my flow mixture. The other thing that, sorry, before I go on, I used to actually just use this pouring medium on its own mixed with the paints, but after watching a number of the other artists on YouTube, I've since started adding Floetrol into the mix, and the ratio that I do that is 2 parts of the acrylic flow medium from Dala and 1 part of the Floetrol, and I found that gives me the best results in terms of cells. So yeah, those are the brands I use. Normally get a 1 liter of the Iris White, because I tend to use white a lot more than the other colors, especially as bases for my painting. So yeah, that's good value on the 1 liter as well. The other thing that I've started using lately is the Golden Regular Gloss Gel. I don't really measure it out. I just put a little bit into each mix of paint. And I found that's also helped with the cells, especially when I do swipes. I'm getting a lot more definition in the cells, and they're holding their shape a lot better, and I'm guessing it's because of that. So to make up my flow mixture, as I said, I do 2/3 of the Dala acrylic flow medium and 1/3 of the Floetrol. That then gets combined into my flow mixture bottle. I put it in a 1 liter bottle just because it's easier to manage. The other things that I use, obviously plastic cups are very useful. I just bought a stack of like 50 cups. I've still got a whole stack left there. They're reusable if you wash them straight away while your paint's still wet. They're pretty easy to clean then. So yeah, I use those to mix my paints in, and also for my open cup, I just chop off the top of one of those plastic cups, and it creates a nice open cup for me to use for my pours. And the one other thing that I would recommend getting is a little scale. This one goes to 1/10 of a gram. If you use the kitchen scales, normally it only goes to sort of 0.1 of a gram. Sorry, this goes to 1/100th of a gram. Those kitchen ones are not really ideal because you can't measure accurately. So I'm just going to suggest that you get one of these. This one was about 600 Rand. I think I got it on Takealot, and I've used it every time I pour. So yeah, invaluable. And the other thing, of course, that I use to mix my paints are just some small ice cream sticks. These also reusable. You can just wash them when you're done. Obviously some paint gets left on, but it's a good way just to mix your paints. So I'm just going to show you how I mix one of my paints. Today I'm going to be doing an open cup pour on a 16 by 16 inch canvas, and from what I've learnt I need 1 full cup of the base, which today is going to be a light blue, and I need 1 full cup in total of the other colors. So today I'm going to be doing 1, 2, 3, 4 colors in the cup, so I know that I'm going to need about 1/4 of this cup per color. So how I do it is I just get it on, we zero the scale, and then let me use this one for example. I'm using the cobalt blue, which I actually haven't even opened yet. This is brand new. Let me just try to open this quickly. There we go. And the ratio of paint to my pouring mixture is 3:1. So for this pour, I'm going to put in 10 grams of the paint. There we go, 10 grams of the paint. And then I'm going to put in 30 grams of my pouring mixture, which consists of the Dala acrylic as well as the Floetrol. So this I'll just refer to as my pouring medium. So I'm on 10, I need another 30, so I'm going to go up to 40. There we go. That's 40 grams, and then all I do is I get my little ice cream stick and I mix that up. Now often I'll find that when I do this mix, the paint is still slightly too thick, so you can always water it down with a little bit of water. I know some people use distilled water. For whatever reasons, I just use normal tap water and it seems to be working fine. So the consistency that you want, just in general, is I'm not sure if I can show this to you here, is when you pick up the paint and let it drop onto the mixture, it should really make a mark for 3 seconds before it sinks back into the paint. So this one now I can see is a little bit too thick, so I'm just going to add a little bit of water. There we go. And give that a good mix. And then I'm going to see if I can show you, if I take it like this and pour it on, you can see it leaves a nice trail, which then disappears after a few seconds. I've sort of got to the stage where I can just do it by feel. I can feel how the stick moves through the paint, and by that I know whether I've got the consistency right. And there we go. That's perfect. So we've got a nice, you can see how it comes off nice and easily off the stick. And so I'm just going to see if that's going to be enough. I think I might actually have to add a little bit more here, because that is not 1/4 of a cup. And that's the first one done. Now we've got the right quantity. So I know that 15 grams of the paint is going to give me that's perfect, 1/4 of the cup. So let me do my second one. This one we're going to be doing ultramarine blue. So this time I'm going to put in 15 grams. There we go. 15, and then obviously 15 is the 1 part, so 45 would be the 3 part, and we need to get up to 60 grams. Oop, that's the wrong thing. Almost put in the Floetrol. We've got to put my mix in, and we're going to get it up to 60 grams total. There we go. And once again, I'll just take my stick, give it a good mix, and we may have to add a little bit of water to this just to get it to the right consistency. Yeah, I think we are going to have to add a little bit more. There we go. And mix that in. Yeah, I can already feel that's right. You can see it's coming off nicely in a nice line, and it's leaving a little mark for 2 or 3 seconds. So that's the second one done. I won't bore you with the rest, guys, but basically what I've learnt is that when you want to do a swipe, your swipe mixture needs to be a lot thinner than the rest of your paints. So for my swipe mixture, when I do a swipe, and not that I'm doing one now, I do 1 part of paint to 3 parts of Floetrol direct. I don't put any in of my other pouring medium in. It's just literally paint and Floetrol. That normally comes out fairly thick. So I then add a little bit of water and I make it a lot thinner than the normal paint. So when you're scooping it up and letting it drop off, it won't really leave a trail at all because it's so thin, but that's exactly how I need it. The other thing that I've been using, obviously to create my cells, is just a little bit of silicone. I buy this from an art store. I just put a few drops into each mix and give it a little mix before I do the pour, and that creates a whole lot of beautiful cells. I actually think this one's almost finished. Yeah, so what else can I tell you? I think that's about it, guys. I try and keep it nice and simple, keep my ratios the same. I don't always use a scale. As I said, I can almost do it by feel now, but if you're starting out, I would suggest using the scale. It just makes things easier, and you know that you're getting the right consistency then at the end of the day. I'm going to finish doing the rest of the paints now, get the canvas ready, and I'll be back to do the open cup pour. I'm actually going to be doing a double open cup pour on the one canvas. Not sure how that's going to work out, but we'll give it a go. But yeah, I hope that you have learned something from this. I know this information is out there on the internet already, but I guess if you are watching my channel and you enjoy the art I make, it makes sense to get the ratios and brands of paint, etc. that I use, especially if you're in South Africa like I am. You can just go out and get the stuff for yourself and start painting. So cool, hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to just finish up here and get everything ready. The one thing I did forget to say is once you've mixed your paints, you really need to let them sit for, I'd say, at least an hour. When the Floetrol reacts with the paint and with the water, it tends to create air bubbles, and you don't want air bubbles in your painting. That's another reason I use my torch to pop it. But the best way to avoid that is to just let your paint sit for up to an hour, even longer if you want. And that will mean all the air bubbles come to the top, and you get them out of your paint and make the paint ready for the pour. But yeah, that's enough waffling from me. Hope you've enjoyed this little tutorial. I will cut away now till to the point where we're ready to do the open cup pour. Cheers. Right guys, it's been about an hour. My paints have been chilling and the air bubbles have come out of them. I've laid down the base coat, which is just a baby blue that I've mixed up. I've kept a little bit behind to put around my open cups when I do the pour. The colors I'm using, 2 blues, one we mixed earlier, and then a darker sort of navy blue, and of course 2 purples. I've done a nice royal purple, and this one is just a deeper shade of violet. So let's get going. As I said, we're going to be doing a double open cup pour, I should say, like that. Let's put those down. I'm just going to pour a little bit more blue around the outside. There we go. And let's get going. Right, there we go guys, the paints are down. Let me get my blowtorch out and see what happens when we do the flame. A lot of bubbles in there still, but we'll pop those out. Right, that's looking nice. Some nice cells coming up here. And I think I will leave it for a minute or two, just for the cells to develop. So I'll cut back once that time's gone by. Okay guys, we're back and it's time for the tilt. I've got my gloves on. Some nice cells developing, so hopefully we can get to keep those once we tilt. But here we go. Right, that is looking great. I like this light blue line down the middle. I think I'm going to leave it there just to demarcate the sides. Just going to check, all my sides are covered here. Okay guys, that's looking great. I really love this purpley color here and the blues coming through. I'm just going to flame it now, and I've got a feeling that we're going to get a lot more cell action here, because there is quite a lot of silicone in here, and now that the paints are a little bit thinner, I'm sure we're going to see the cells coming through. Really like this section here as well. It's almost like a grey stone type effect. So there you have it guys. That is my twin open cup pour with purples and blues with a light blue base. I think it's going to develop even more, but I'm actually loving it at the moment. So one of the nicer ones I've done in the last few weeks. Naturally it's got purple in, so I will like it because of that. But yeah, I just like how it's turned out. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my tutorial on how I mix my paints together, and what brands I use, how I make my pouring medium and that sort of thing. You probably knew a lot of it anyway, but for those who wanted to know, there you go guys. And yeah, lastly, of course, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Those subscriber numbers are going up and up, which is great, and I'm really enjoying the interaction and the comments that you guys are posting. So keep that going. I'll probably won't be here for a Wacky Wednesday pour tomorrow, seeing that I did one today, but I'll certainly be back later in the week to do another pour, and I look forward to sharing that with you. Guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Cheers.